SGA. Along with that is empowering the senators. Micromanaging is a thing that I don't believe in at all. I think every senator should be in charge of their own thing and should never have to be micromanaged. They're elected for a reason, and that reason is because they're capable to do a great job in that position. That being said, I think we are both willing to stand up for things that we think we need as a student body. If something's unfair and we're being treated poorly by administration, or in any way that something comes up and it needs to be changed, we're not afraid to stand up for it and say, look, these are the reasons why this needs to be done, and this has to happen. I'm gonna go ahead and let Tony go into Involve, so I don't take up too much time.
All right, and the last part of our campaign is called Involve. It's near and dear to me because it allows me to show my passion and love for this campus to have unity campus-wide. I have a comparison that I have for SGA that I learned from football. In football, we have this thing called Unity Council. In Unity Council, their players voted on by the players, and what they are, they're the bridge between the players and the coaches. The players have discretions about safety, equipment, anything. They come to them, and the bridge, which is the Unity Council, talks to the coaches. I see that in the same way that I see SGA. I see that we are voted on and elected by the student body to be that bridge between the student body and the president, and etc. And with that, we vow to listen to people and actually take action with it. And whether or not things actually get done, we plan to get back to each individual about what their opinion was and what their discretion was, about how it turned out, and what we can do further from that state. Now what we are planning on doing is bringing back the suggestion box outside of SGA office. Right now there's something called Mercer Probs that's online. The last time that it was posted on was about a year ago. And as I was walking around campus and asking students, nobody knew what it was or where it was. And that just further shows the lack of involvement around the campus. And that is something that will be brought up in Senate, and will be allotted time each Senate week with the opinions and discussions from the student body for that week.
All right, your time is up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Next up is Harrison and Jolly Ticket. You guys will have 5 minutes as well. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
All right. Your 5 minutes start now.
All right, so for us, it's as simple as this. We want you to join the team. We feel like, let's talk about unity, bringing your problems to us. Those days are over. We're not gonna act as a king or queen, we're coming to you. SGA is a grassroots organization. We feel like we should be in organization meetings addressing your problems. You shouldn't take time out of your already busy schedule to come before us with suggestions or anything like that. We're coming to you, we're gonna act like a true grassroots organization and put our face in every single organizational meeting and make sure that you guys feel like you have a place to come address your problems. So with that, we have 3 big points: engagement, collaboration, and responsibility. First, we have engagement.
We actually have collaboration first.
Okay.
So collaboration, the whole idea is we want, as Mercer's growing, we're getting bigger and bigger, but we want to maintain that small campus feel. So we're going to target our student organizations to make them strong and sustainable as possible. One of our biggest things, specifically targeted towards student organizations, is our idea of a student organizational leadership summit. This would be hosted this spring to give student orgs the chance and the opportunity to train their officers to make it a better and sustainable organization. And along the same lines, our organizations are putting on great events. We just went out to Holy with QuadWorks and Mercer Mount Solid. That was fantastic. We want more people to attend those events. We want more people to know what's going on in campus and to get connected. So to do that, we're going to have some large-scale meetings with some bigger organizations that reach a lot of people, so we can kind of get our calendars in sync, see how SJ can promote your event, how SJ can help you, how they can help us, just a way so we can get our calendars in sync so more students attend more student organizational events, so you're not competing for events, you're not competing for event space or audience or something like that. We want Mercer students to experience the best that these student organizations have, and part of that is fixing that calendar that so many Mercer students have, trying to figure out what they're going to do on the weekends. So with that, we're going to go to engagement.
Now we have engagement, and with engagement we have 3 big stakeholders we want to engage. First and foremost, we want to engage the student body. As I mentioned at the beginning, we want to create open and accessible ways for you guys to address your problems more so than ever before. And so one way of doing that is we want to have an open Senate. So or a special Senate where once a month during our casual Senate, we put it somewhere else around campus. So we have Senate on Cruz Plaza, we have Senate here in Bear Rock, we have Senate in the library, places where we're dressed down and you feel comfortable to come to us and speak with us and address your problems face to face as students. We're more special than you are. We want to work with you, beside you, and make you do what you want to do on this campus as well as possible. Secondly, we want to engage the administration. So if you guys will notice, Einstein Bagels is going in Jack Tarver Library. Taylor and I have met with Kim Boyer in the past. We've seen those floor plans. It's going to look great. It's going to be an awesome opportunity for students. We want to make sure that opportunities like that continue to show up, and as Mercer grows and as it changes, students' concerns are the #1 priority. This campus is going to look a lot different in the next year, the next 2 years, and we want to make sure that students know that we're a resource. If there's any problems or complaints through this process, we can continue to make sure that your needs are being met. Last but not least, we want to engage the community. We feel like Mercer's role with the community is kind of grown to the point where it's more of a representative role. We want to focus on Macon's future, not its present. We feel like we're well engaged in Macon as it is currently. We want to spend more time putting you in representative roles in the community, so that gives us more time to put focus where it needs to be on this campus at Mercer University. So finally, we have responsibility.
We're going to tackle recycling again. Our big idea for responsibility is increasing student responsibility on campus, mainly with Green and Clean campaigns, recycling at tailgates, and cigarette disposals on campus to keep our campus beautiful and clean. So is that it? Thank you.
Thank you,
All
guys.
right, thank you guys. Okay, now we're going to get into our Q&A session. We have collected and sorted our questions, your questions, so that we can direct them to our candidates. So we'll start with our Boggs and Turla ticket, and our President Wozniak will be the mediator for that.
All right, so first question, and we'll make this to both tickets, so you'll have 2 minutes, and then you'll have 2 minutes to respond. No rebuttal for this one. First question, do you have experience with budgeting money as the SGA budget averages to over $170,000 a year? If so, have you anticipated how you would deal with SGA's budget and using it to maximize its use for the students? David and Tony, you have 2 minutes, beginning now.
Thank you. All right, to start, we'll talk a little about the experience with the money. It started with club soccer, being president of that and getting it all started. We had to get a budget. We had to pay referees, get jerseys, pay a bunch of pay for the games, the fields, the transportation, and all of that. And we had a set budget for that semester, which was rather small because it was the first semester. We weren't in a league yet. We didn't have that much money to do stuff. We ended up getting jerseys. We had six game days, I believe. 6 games, 5 game days. I apologize. And we had all that, and we still had money left over at the end of the year. But the most relevant experience is through Kappa Sigma fraternity. Although yes, it's not $150,000. It's a smaller scale. It's the same way the budget works here, as it turns to. There's certain different things that you allot budget money for at the beginning of the year. And say you deplete one too fast, you have to vote and to move things around and make sure you're using things appropriately because you have a whole year to spend the money. What's the second part about the question? How do we plan to use it?
Yeah, if so, have you anticipated how you would deal with SGA's budget and using it to maximize its use for the students?
Yes, yes we have. We've looked over the budget, and some things we think need to be cut down on some money, and some things need more money. And overall, we will be requesting more money from administration for next school year because we are a growing school. There's a growing population. We shouldn't get less money or equal money as students go here increase. So we need more money to fund these organizations. We need more money in fiscal affairs so we can keep funding all these organizations and still have money to last throughout the entire year. We also want to limit the money used for Founders Day by 1,000 or 2 because way too much money is spent on that for the amount of people who really care.
Austin and Taylor, would you like me to repeat the question?
Go ahead.
Do you have experience with budgeting money? If so, have you anticipated how you would deal with SGA's budget and using it to maximize its use for students? You have 2 minutes starting now.
As Alpha Delta Pi's finance vice president previously, I have experience managing about a $70,000 budget, which is what Austin, our awesome fiscal affairs chairperson, had the pleasure of doing this year. So I'll go ahead and let him explain what's the deal with the budget.
So yeah, my name's Austin Harrison, but close friends call me the Money Man because I've been treasurer of about 5 or 6 different organizations, as well as SGA. My sophomore year, I've been treasurer of my fraternity, a treasurer of Order of Omega. I know how the dollar bill works as far as organizational spending works. My sophomore year, I oversaw the entire $106,000 budget. And our biggest thing with the budget, as our opponents mentioned, yes, we need more money. But Taylor and I have already took the time and the due diligence to see exactly how much more money we need. With my experience in fiscal affairs, I know a specific dollar amount with recycle bins. We've already had those priced out with Russell Below and Kim Boyer, and we're at a point now where we've already began looking at past budgets. And I mean, we've really put a lot of thought in to what exactly we're going to do meticulously with the budget and ways that we can continue to make it grow and better. Because ultimately, that's your money. I mean, student activities fee comes back to SGA, so we're simply trying to find the best ways to put your money back in your pockets the way you want it. So again, it goes back to going back to the students and seeing ways they want to see it, and make sure it's being spent to the students' approval, not necessarily SGA's, because you're our number one priority.
And just along with that, Austin doesn't hold the purse strings to SGA. All the senators vote on all the budgetary needs, all the fiscal legislation, so just keep that in mind.
All right, thank you. And Victoria is going to take the next question.
Okay, this question is specifically to Harrison and Jolly's ticket, but the other two will have 2 minutes to respond as well. Becoming SGA president and vice president requires a lot of time outside the normal Monday evening Senate meetings. What have you done to prepare for such